Hello, crafty friends. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. This is a Jumbo Tag Waterfall notebook. What do you think about that? Pretty neat, huh? All right, well, I'm going to show you how I made it, and it's not as hard as you might think. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to start with two of my jumbo tags, and these are actually two pieces that you can get for free. One is in my Creative Paper Artisan Paper Crafting Community Facebook group, and the other one is in a group that I'm involved in called Crafty Christian's Corner. So I usually do coordinating freebies every Friday. And so these are the two that I did recently. And I thought these would make lovely covers for a folio or a journal or, something that needs a cover with kind of a neat shape to it. So this is what we're going to do. This is going to be where we start. So I obviously went ahead and cut these out. I already went ahead and inked the edges. I left the backs plain. You could, if you wanted to, just before you cut them out, print a different digital design on here. There's like a digital paper. I thought about it, and then I thought, no. I'm not sure why. I'm kind of regretting it now, but we can always decorate this up a bit if we need to. But for now, I'm just going to leave these. Okay, so we're going to set these aside. These will be the cover. Now, here's where the magic happens. I've got a stack of just regular paper, and I may do another one of these with coffee stain paper because I just love the way coffee stain paper is, but I don't think I have enough to do what I need to do for this. So I'm just going to use regular paper. And I will probably use this as a functioning notebook where I just make my lists because I can't function without lists. So I always need listy notebooks for my lists. So, all right. So here's how we're going to start. This is going to be the cover, right? And I'm going to start from the inside, fold out, simply because it's easier for me, I've found, to fold going kind of backwards. Maybe you'll see what I mean later on. But this is going to grow, and it's going to get larger, and it's going to get almost as tall as the cover. So this is going to work out just fine. You may not believe me now, but you'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and start folding it like this. And I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch. Just fold that like that. Ooh, I have ink on my, hang on. Let me get my little wipes. I somehow got ink on my hands. And I transferred a little bit there, but that's okay. Doesn't show up too bad. Okay, I'm gonna get myself a little bit cleaned up here. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the next sheet, and I'm going to line up this bottom. Another, I'm gonna leave 1/4 inch at the bottom here. So I don't know if you can see. See, so I've got 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So I'm going to make sure it's all straight and lined up. And then fold it using this fold as the guide. And you'll see that it automatically puts it at just about, guess what, 1/4 inch. All right. You see what we're doing here? You see that little waterfall effect? Yes, sirree. It's happening. Okay, so then we're going to keep doing this until we get to the height that we need for these covers. And I will show you in a minute. I think maybe you might be able to visualize why I don't like doing it the other way around. I've tried it, and maybe I'm just not coordinated enough, but let me show you. I started experimenting with it, and this is kind of what I did, right? So this is going to be the cover. So I need this to be just a little bit shorter, which is perfect. This works out perfectly at this height. So, you know, I did that first fold. And then when you go to do the second one, you can do this, do the 1/4 inch. But for some reason, for me, you have to work on the inside of the fold, and I just can't seem to work it very well. So I prefer, I don't know if that makes sense. So I prefer to start in the very middle fold first and then work out, because I have a cleaner edge to visualize and to work with. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. That works for me. If doing it the other way works for you, then go for it. It is all about doing it in a way that makes sense to you and is easier for you. So I'm going to continue folding these, and I will speed the camera up so that you don't have to watch me painstakingly do this for the next 30 minutes, okay? Okay, perfect. So, some of the edges are not quite, well, actually they're pretty good, but they're not all completely squared and lined up, but visually this looks pretty good. The edges are going to go away anyway, so it's not that crucial. Or I may use one of the edges and then, so, okay. All right, so here we go. There's the nice little waterfall effect. I just love that. It's so fun. It's fun to do. Oh my gosh, it's like petting a really soft kitten. Anyway, okay, so now we need to cut this down. And let me see here. I'm going to I want the edge to hang over a little bit because I want this cover to truly be a cover, and I don't want it to be right up on the edge. So I'm thinking maybe like literally a 1/16 of an inch hanging over on here and then on the bottom. You can see that. Just hanging over just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to use my pencil and draw a line here. And then outline this. Excuse the barking dogs, as usual. All right, so now, actually, I think I'm going to use my clippy clip so that doesn't move too much. You know what I mean? I thought, yeah, here's another one. Okay, I'm just gonna stabilize that a little bit. Okay, now my scissors. Oh, there they go. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And where I drew the line was obviously right on the edge. So the rest of it is going to be slightly shorter. So when I cut, I'm going to cut on the inside of that line, just about 1/16 of an inch. All right. Now that is a lot of paper, so it's kind of thick. So you need to have good scissors. It seems like I got a little bit of a bad start there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to cut again just a little bit inside that line to make it just a little bit shorter. I'm wondering if these would be better for this thick part. I'm going to try. I'm going to experiment here with you guys again. Not really. We'll stick with the big ones. All right. Just the top part here is thicker, obviously, because there's more folds, more paper to it. Go past a little bit and then give myself some room to breathe here. Okay, and then cut the inside, just on the inside of that line. And you gotta try to keep it as straight as possible so that you're not too wavy. And, I would not suggest doing this on a paper cutter, like the kind that the blade slides, because that's really thick. I don't think that would cut very well. I want to start here. See, here's fine because it's just a little bit. Then as it gets thicker towards the top, it's a little tougher. But if you're careful, you can make it work. We can make it work. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't line up. That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to make that work anyway. I think it was shifting when I was coming this way. That's all right. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Okay. All right. Now, that is not perfectly straight, but it's pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. And I think by the time it's all said and done, it's not going to be that noticeable. All right, so I'm gonna keep this little guy here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is make sure. Oh, you know what? And something I noticed. I cut these two out separately. They don't quite line up. I didn't quite get that cut straight either. So I'm going to line them up and trim them so that they are exactly the same. Just that the top little notch there, I didn't quite get right. Okie dokie, that's much better. And I'll probably need to re-ink a little bit. Heaven forbid I have an edge that's not inked, because I love me some inked edges. Okay. All right, so now. Okay, so the way that you want to kind of bind it is really up to you. I've considered I'm thinking about two different options. One is just doing like a hole, just like a tag, and just doing a ribbon through it like that. But part of me wants to do two holes and kind of do like a little note using ribbon, but you could doing like a little notebook ring or something like that with a ribbon. So I think that is what I'm going to do. And let me see here. Oh yeah, that works out great. Okay. Let's see. Gotta line it all up again. And I may be off a tad. Yep, I sure am. I'm off just a tad because I trimmed after I trimmed this. I should have done that before. So, okay. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Much better, much better. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch two holes right here. And then we're going to put ribbon through it. And what I'm going to do is I will do the cover first. Punching through that thick paper may be a challenge again, but we will work through it, won't we? Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't want to put it up too close because I don't want it ripping whenever I flip it open. So I'm going to give it a little bit extra, space there. There we go, perfect. And again, I'm just eyeballing it. If you want to get more exact, absolutely do some measuring. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to trace my little circles there. And what I have a feeling, I have a sinking feeling I'm not going to be able to get through all of this in one blow. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna be brave. Ready? Ugh, nope. Nope. But you know what? Let me try with my crocodile. Because this puppy seems to be much stronger. It has seems like it has a heavier duty blade or something. And the hole is a little bit smaller. But I think for what we're doing here, that's not going to be a problem. Let me see. Ah, yes, much better, much easier. Still a lot of papers trying to work through here, but it did it. It did it. Okay, so word to the wise. For this thick, the regular paper hole puncher is not gonna do the trick in one shot. But the crocodile, yes, it will. And I am so glad because I was really not wanting to go through just a few layers at a time. I just want to do it all in one shot. Okay. So that's beautiful. Okay, now this is the easy part now. We just went through all the craziness. So line up my holes. And let me find a ribbon. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's lovely. That really goes with that, doesn't it? It's like a peachy. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and I have a lot of it, so I can mess up. Of course, with these, I mean, these colors, this would go, there's a lot of colors that would go. I'm kind of in love with this one right now, so that's what we'll go with. All right. So I'm going to find one end. And all right, so something else I've been thinking about. If I just want to have two separate little rings, or if I want to have it. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Let me try something here. If I did something like this, and put a bow right there, let me see how well that would. Or kind of want it to be stable. I don't want it to be flopping around too much, you know? So see, the other way I was thinking about doing was, you know, making a tie here, kind of loosely, and then doing it again here, and then it would flip up like that. You know what? I've got so much of this. I'm going to experiment. If I don't like this, then I can change it because I've got plenty more ribbon. So let me do this. Okay. And then we'll do it again here. I think I'm liking the freedom of this, kind of like you know, like the binder rings, the loose leaf binder rings, but just prettier with ribbon. But let me see. Don't want to do it too tight because I want it to have some breathing room. You can flip it open quite nicely like that. I do like it. But something in me wants to have a little bit more. I want it all. Let me think here. If we tie it like that. Okay, hang on. What if we do away with these little guys, shorten these up a little, so not too much dangly stuff going on. And then I think I like it. The other way would have worked too. I kind of like this. So this way does give it more freedom than the other way. So let me put this away. Okay. Now, the edges. If you were to use different digital papers and or coffee paper, your edges would be much more interesting. And I'm actually okay with the white paper because, like I said, this is going to be a very practical book. It's not going to necessarily be a journal. I'm going to use it for lists. But I don't like just the plain edges. So the way we're going to fix that is with washi tape. Okay. Now, I want them to kind of, coordinate. So I kind of have my, ooh, that may be the one. I was going to look through all of them, but I like the way that looks with that. Not that you're going to see it with the cover, but I kind of like that. Then I also have these that kind of coordinate, and these are pretty neat too. They're like old, what are they? I think they're old cigar bands, which I'm not a fan of cigars, but the vintage cigar bands look pretty cool. And then here's more florals. I mean, really, any of these would work pretty nicely. But I'm kind of drawn to this set. So, and then actually, these go too. Yep. Okay. All right. So all I'm going to do is just put a strip of washi tape along the bottom. I think I will start with this one. It's a little bit wider, and that's okay. They don't have to be the same width. Eek! But I do want to get it all the way to the bottom edge. Okay, hang on. I'm being awkward here. Okay. Okie dokie. Yep. Okay. That's a good start. And I'm going to go ahead and do this to all of the pages. All right, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me. So there you have it. It's a Jumbo Tag notebook, Waterfall notebook. And when you open it up, see, it's so much more fun when all the edges are different, isn't it? That's so much better. But you can save save all that time if you use printed pages. But they do need to be double-sided. Because as you saw, when you fold it, the top part and the inner part shows. So if you want to go through the trouble of printing two-sided pages, then honestly, I'm not sure if one way or the other is quicker, because it'll take time to print all these, a nice variety of double-sided digital papers. And then it also, as you saw, takes time to put washi tape on the edges of all of these. But it is so much more visually pleasing, don't you think, when the edges are all pretty and different? I will also be doing another one, I believe, with coffee stain paper. And that I'm guessing is going to look okay without any embellishments, because the coffee stain paper itself, every page has a different look. So, if you wanted to just keep it a little bit more simple, then you could just use coffee stain paper. Another idea, if you wanted to really get fancy schmancy, is line the edges with lace. Of course, that's too wide. Let me see. I'm not going to do it for this one, but just as an example, like this type of this width or smaller, you could do that. Do that as well. Every so often, put some lace. I mean, that would just, you could really do it up. So, but that is up to you for sure. And oh yeah, here's a pretty one with the cream colored. That's actually really pretty. Maybe I'll do that. No, I think I'll leave it. But I think what I may do, I'm going to add this to the outside. That's just one way of using this as a cover. Obviously, you could do it not necessarily the waterfall technique, but if you just wanted to cut pages to this size, and then just bind it on the edge using this, this technique, like the ring, what am I trying to say? The 3-ring hole punch kind of a thing, but using a ribbon, or you could use the binder clips, the rings that you can get, like right here. What I have my washi tapes on, you can use this and use that as a binder, as a way to bind it as well. So again, options are endless. Your imagination is the only thing that limits anything. I can't cut from that angle very well. Do it from here. So yeah, if you have any other ideas on how to use a jumbo tag like this, let me know. I'd love to hear your ideas. And if you join my group, which I will link below so that you can get a hold of these freebies, and I have a few other jumbo tags as well in there. So you can get those once you join the group. And then if you make something with them, I would love to see your pictures. Another thing I just thought of is I think I'm going to go ahead and put a grommet in there. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so just in case you haven't done grommets before, let me show you. The 5 millimeter grommets work great with the paper hole punch size. The sizes that you need for either one of these other holes are a bit smaller, but just word to the wise, 5 millimeter works really great with the size that a regular paper hole punch does. But you can use the larger setting on the crocodile to crimp it, and that still works just fine. So you've got the two different spokes here, I guess. I don't know the technical terms to all of this, so I'm just going to use up my own language here, okay? So I'm using the larger spoke so that it has a better base to sit on. And then you've got different settings for where it kind of sits down to crimp. And I'm going to use the larger of them. Let me see. Yeah, the number 1 seems to be the better one. So I want the front to be showing. That's going to be the pretty part. So I like to usually set it kind of upside down and set it on to sit on that little spoke like this. right? And then like, because again, like I have weak hands, I'm gonna have to stand up to do this. And you just get a good hold of it and you just squeeze really good. And then it crimps the back. And then you have a beautiful grommet covered hole there. So I'm gonna do that to the other 3 holes. Okay, awesome. Now we're cooking with gas. Now I think it's gonna look a little bit more finished. It's gonna have a nicer feel to it. So let me get these guys back in. All right, you guys, that's it. Isn't that fun? Something a little bit different. So again, if you guys make something with these jumbo tags, I would love to see. I would love to see your ideas, and I'm going to keep playing with them myself. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.